Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Happy Hump Day. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com, and wealth insurance, it's what we do, the physical delivery of gold and silver in a world that is absolutely gone totally insane. The State of the Union yesterday, the delayed State of the Union. I'm going to be honest with you. I was watching it, and it turned into NASCAR/golf for me. And I fell asleep, woke up, it was still on, fell asleep again, woke up, it was still on. That thing went on forever. You had the, I'll call them the ladies in white. That was creepy. I mean, what are we, a cult now? I don't get it. Everybody wants to make this statement. And, this is supposed to be about America and coming together, and they just don't get it. Everybody's got a political agenda, and everybody's trying to position themselves for the next election. They don't care. They don't care. And this is really the problem. If they cared, we wouldn't be running $1 trillion plus a year deficits. We wouldn't be. If they cared, they wouldn't be devaluing our money every single day. If they cared, right, they would make sure that all the things that the president said, the greatest recovery or the greatest economic time ever. No, it's not. No, it's not. Stop exaggerating. You know what? I'm tired of the exaggeration. Let's deal with what is actually real. Did you hear anything real? You didn't. You know what I heard? I did this and I did that and that. You know what? All you did is spend money. Money you didn't have. Yeah, you got rid of some regulations on banks. Yeah, you did that. Yeah, you did. And I don't mean to be critical, but that was not what I was hoping for. And nobody wants to deal with the reality. They all want to lie to you. They all want you to make you pretend that what's happening isn't really happening. Wall Street is the biggest myth of them all. All of us are going to pay the price. That 401k isn't worth what the paper it's printed on. Even, you know what, they probably don't even print the paper. It's not worth the electronic statement it's produced on. I'll give you a great example. In September, the end of September, they told us, and Wall Street, the analyst, that the first quarter profits, and at the end of the day, let's face it, that's what matters most. What are the profits? We're going to be 7%. Obviously not 20, but 7. Today, the profits in the first quarter are going to be negative 0.8. Yet, essentially, Wall Street's in the same spot it was then as it is today, right? They can't be both. Right? They can't be both. Right? Did we hear anybody talk about deficits yesterday? No. Did we hear anybody talk about entitlement spending? Did we hear anybody talk about balancing budgets? Nope. You know what we heard about? We heard about, hey, listen, the billionaires are doing pretty good, and maybe it'll trickle down to everybody else. Right? Bragging about how much money people are making. 3 cents. That's how much more you made this month than you did a year ago. 3 cents. Well, they got funny math. So they said your wages went up 3%. But again, a lot of that could have just been, well, we paid more for their medical, so then they count that. Your actual paycheck didn't go up that much. But, it's the best it's ever been. We got more people working part-time than ever before. right? And I just heard more of the same. I saw more of the same, all the things that disgust me about not only the State of the Union, but where we are politically. They want us to be divided. Yesterday you saw it. I mean, what was the point of the white? What was that? What, we're divided. We don't like you. We want something different. No, that's not what this is for. This isn't supposed to be a political. This is about America coming together. You know, because I truly believe we can do anything together. Can't do it when you pick winners and losers. And that's all they want to do. They want to pick the winners and they want to pick the losers. And this is why I've been saying for so long, government is way too big. The central bank, way too powerful. Right? They pick the winners and the losers. The problem is the winners, there's very few of them. And there's a whole lot of losers. And you know what? I don't give a damn about a participation trophy. So I can feel better about myself. I truly believe most people, if you give them the opportunity, they will succeed. But the opportunity really isn't there. Driving around a drunk person isn't an opportunity. Almost every Lyft or Uber I've ever been in, the person actually has a real job, but they need to do this job because they got to pay the bills. Patriot Radio News Hour. Why don't we talk about that at the State of the Union? We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592. Here's what's real. You know, you want to talk about reality, or do you want to live in fantasy land? One or the other, right? Most people today now, they want fantasy. They want to be lied to, right? You want to believe this great little, I shouldn't say great rally, but the dead cat bounce that you've seen here. And I know all of you out there. Oh, no, Joe's not right. No, it's okay. We're not going in recession. There's no chance of it. That's idiot talk. Look at the jobs number from last week. You know what? If you go back to our archives, go back to yesterday. Daniel DiMartino Booth was doing an interview on Fox. And she was talking about the jobs number. 300,000, they said. Patted themselves on the back. It was actually a totally ridiculous number, right? Because first of all, we all know what happens in January. All the temporary people get laid off. That's not reality. But they seasonally adjusted and do this and they do that. And she was talking about how, yeah, that's not really what happened. And then, of course, if you did the household survey, they said, hey, we had 250,000 less jobs, not 300,000 more. Well, what is it? And again, this is the problem. They want to create things that give you the ability to not live in what the reality truly is. Can you afford a home? Right? If in the home that you live in, could you afford to buy the exact same house that you currently live in? And you know what? The vast majority of people say, no, I couldn't. I mean, I can afford this one because I bought it when it was cheaper. But if I had to buy this house today, I can't even live here, right? That means your standard of living went down. Right? And that's what most Americans, this is what the housing market really is people can't afford it. How about this for real? Governor Andrew Cuomo. I know he's the governor of New York. My former hometown. Right? My mother, my brother, my aunts, my uncles, they still all live in the suburbs of Syracuse. Announced a dramatic drop in state income tax. But I thought this was the greatest thing ever. Listen, this is every state. Well, I shouldn't say every state. Every blue state, right? And again, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, California, right? All of these states are all in trouble. Which will prompt them to revise their 2019-2020 budget and reconsider spending on schools, health care, and repairs to road and bridges. Yeah, we don't want to focus on that. Let's focus in on that fake, phony $300,000 job number, 300,000 jobs. Let's focus on that. I know it's not true, but so what? Right? In Wall Street, again, I have been telling you, all of the data that's come out in January, it's been okay. Earnings, yeah, they're kind of beating these super revised down numbers, but hasn't been. Amazon didn't have great numbers. Google didn't have great numbers. I mean, they were okay, but Apple didn't have great numbers. And again, I've been telling you for a while, dude, Tim Cook is not Steve Jobs. Sorry. And now we're starting to hear more and more of this. Yesterday's ISM number, right? That's the non-manufacturing number, down again. The manufacturing number was down again. But they want you to pretend that somehow it's not. They said that the problems in New York are as serious as a heart attack. Says that he's not certain what areas might need to be cut, but he said the biggest spending areas now are education, healthcare, and infrastructure, and another phase in of the previously approved middle-class tax cut. Here's what's happening, right? And this is happening in a lot of places. The revenues aren't there. Right? They all make their fancy projections, right? They come out and they get their team of experts and they say, oh, no, well, you know, we're going to grow this much and revenues are going to go up and we're going to spend, right? And they all like to spend money they don't have. And then all of a sudden, you know what? And here's the funny thing. We allow them to do it. And they do it for a couple of years and then they come out and say, oh, well, we got a problem. How about New Jersey? You want to know what's true? I can't make this stuff up. New Jersey, one of the highest taxed states in the country, right? Now residents and businesses could be facing another tax, this time when it rains. Save it for a rainy day. Some of your hard-earned dollars may be taken away when the weather turns ugly and rain starts to fall in New Jersey. A new bill calls for the creation of a local or regional storm water utility, giving local counties and municipalities the power to collect a tax from properties with large paved surfaces, such as parking lots. Again, right? This is not Fake News Friday. The bill actually passed in the Senate and the Assembly, and now is headed to the governor's desk. They actually passed this bill. With all the salt that we've recently had on the road, right? Because, you know, they salt the roads when it snows. All running into the sewer system, so you can't ignore problems. They don't go away. They said the state storm water utilities that collect and filter runoff from the storms, you know, they're having issues. Someone's got to pay for it. I know I got a great I got a great idea. If you got cement or a parking lot or anything paved, let's charge them. So I don't know if it doesn't say if the governor's going to sign the. But here's my point: it got all the way to him. Right? This wasn't some wacko out of left field proposing something that's never going to pass. This got passed in the House and the Senate, and it's all coming. And again, I know. You want to believe? We all want to believe. Right? I want to believe that jobs number, but I know better. I want to believe our wages went up 3%. I do, but they didn't. They didn't. Sorry. Right? I want to believe that I don't have to pay $700 and $800 a month for health care, but I do. And you know what? Now that I can't wait for this year's bill. And they sit there and they tell us about there's no inflation. Well, there's no inflation in the fake inflation data. Right? But yet we want to believe that. Right? We want to believe that the central bank doesn't steal wealth. Yet they openly talk about, hey, we want 2% inflation. Of course, we want the fake kind of 2% inflation. Understand what that means. See, because they've created a word that to you and to me and to most people, well, I shouldn't say for us, people listen here understand. Most people don't understand. When you turn on your idiot, but listen, they got us all trained like a bunch of monkeys. Turn on your TV, and you'll get Jim Cramer, and you'll get Maria Bartiromo, and all the other talking heads out there talking about, yeah, there's 2% inflation. Man, it's great. Fed's almost there. You know what? Fed's right there. They're near their 2% target. What a great thing that is. Well, they talk about, well, inflation, it's not that bad. What inflation are they talking about? The fake kind? The fake kind that none of us actually have to live in? But understand what it means. They want your money to be worth less, and then they lie about it. See, they don't want to tell you that your money's worth 5% less. Right? And I'm using 5. I'm being kind. What do you think that means in 10 years? How much less is your money worth? 50%. Right? 50%. Why do you think a house that used to cost $150,000 is now $300,000? Did the house change? Same house. Right? It's got the same bedrooms. It's on the same lot it was on. How is it? I'll give you a great example, and you can all do this for yourselves. Talk about this all the time. When we had Joey, Sarah and I had Joey, our very first house we bought was in Anthem. And I know for people that don't live in Arizona, you may not know what that means, but I'll explain it to you. That used to be way out there. Okay, back in 2000, Anthem was way out there. No one lived out there. And they were building this huge master plan community. And we got this 1,600 square foot house on a little postage stamp. I mean, the backyard from the house to the wall was like 12 feet. Okay? Right? That was like the backyard, right? The neighbor, the sidewall that was in between me and my neighbor, I could put my hand on my house and my hand on the wall separating me from my neighbor, okay? So it's a postage stamp. It's $130,000. That exact same house, $285,000. When my wife and I bought that house, that was the max. I mean, we actually probably spent a little more than we should have, but we're going to make it work. How are these people? And listen, I had a good job. I did well. That was the most. $285,000 never was going to happen. Now, granted, the interest rate was 7.25%. Right, and now still though, even at 4.25%, you can't afford $285,000. How did it happen? The house didn't change. The lot that it sits on didn't change. The only thing that changed was the value of the dollar. See, this is all gold does. Gold keeps you whole. Gold was like $300 then. Imagine if I took $130,000 and I put it into gold back then. And let's just say, after the premium and whatever, $20 gold piece was $350. Right? That's $371. It's $1,310 today, right? I got $500,000. I could probably buy, right? Like I said, I could probably buy. And back then, that house I bought, that was a solid middle class house. The house I'm talking about now, listen, that's not middle class. It's a little lower middle class, right? But this is what gold does. The $20 gold piece didn't change. Right? But Eric always used to use the reference about a cow. 100 years ago, buy a whole cow for $20. Today, I don't know what a cow goes for. I should have paid attention. I know the cattle show was just up there in Colorado. But probably cost around $1,300. That'd be my guess. But, hey, let's just not live in reality at all, because it's just so much better that way. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily commentary continuing the conservative pro-family legacy of Phyllis Schlafly. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Proponents of global governance are always trying to find new ways to bypass the treaty clause of the U.S. Constitution, which requires a supermajority of 2/3 approval by the U.S. Senate in order to ratify foreign treaties. Many treaties have been signed by American presidents, but thankfully never ratified by the Senate, such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the Paris Agreement on so-called climate change. President Obama approved both of those treaties, which were also deceptively named to avoid the use of the word treaty. But call them what you like, treaties, compacts, partnerships, or agreements. They are all tools to help the globalist community strip the sovereignty and rights away from individual nations. The most recent attempt at shadow treaty language came on a very hot-button issue. The United Nations Global Compact for Safe, Orderly, and Regular Migration was endorsed by the United Nations on December 19, 2018 in Marrakesh, Morocco. Although most members of the United Nations endorsed this new anti-sovereignty treaty, the United States helped to lead the way for countries opposing the globalist grab at open borders. Some countries, like Hungary, have had very recent, tangible reasons to oppose open borders and global governance. In August 2018, an international tribunal called the European Court of Human Rights commanded Hungary to provide food to migrants and refugees held in detention camps inside Hungary. It's no surprise that Hungary then joined the growing number of countries following President Trump's bold leadership in rejecting this so-called compact. Other nations pulling out of this globalist scheme include Austria, Australia, Chile, the Czech Republic, Italy, Poland, Latvia, Slovakia, and the Dominican Republic. President Trump, in his official statement on behalf of the United States, properly criticized the use of the legalistic name compact rather than the traditional labels of convention or treaty. Globalists can try all they want to mask the stench of their policies, but it won't change the stench of their hatred for national sovereignty.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. It's no secret that globalists are bent on destroying Western culture. Whether the threat comes from inside or outside our borders, America must be protected from cultural Marxism and those who would deny American sovereignty. We're seeking your insight at phyllisschlafly.com. That's phyllisschlafly.com. And join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
800-951-0592. Yesterday, we were able to run those Saints, and congratulations to those of you that were smart enough to take advantage, because just today alone, and I keep trying to tell you, the amount of money flowing into gold and silver is skyrocketing. 33% jump and sales of silver eagles, just silver eagles in the month of January, 33%. Today, I was talking to Jason earlier, and Jason does our Colorado show, and I was telling him, I go, man, he's had another $10 price increase in gold today. But yet you look at gold, and gold's down $2-3. It's $1,311. Right? And then I'm just going to tell you, supply and demand, economics 101, not fake stuff. Right? Not seasonally adjusted, not survey data. I'm talking actual facts. Yesterday we touched on it again briefly. Now think about this. Go all the way back to 1971. We've had some crisis, haven't we? Had hyperinflation of the 70s. The crash in 87. The explosion of debt, right? That is now going on today. We've had the tech bubble, right, with the housing crash, the financial crisis. I mean, we've had tons of things that have happened that you would think, man, that'd force people to buy some gold. In 2018, central banks set a record for gold purchases since 1971, since we closed the gold window. See, right before we closed the gold window, they were buying, 1,000, 1,500 metric tons a year, right? That's why we shut it. And it's telling you something. And you know what? They don't want you to know about it. Matter of fact, you know what they want to do? They want to go on TV and tell you how dumb you are if you buy gold. You go to your financial planner and you tell them, hey, I want to take out some of my money. What do they want to do? Well, what do you need it for? Well, first of all, it's none of your business. But then you tell, I'm going to buy some gold. Oh, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you do. You know why? Because these central banks are telling you something is wrong. Very wrong. Because we've had a lot of things wrong before. I mean, right? I mean, I just rattled off 5, 6, 7 things that were all wrong. They weren't buying gold then. .com bubble, heck, Bank of England sold all their gold. Hey, we're going to sell it all. Why? Because they wanted people to believe them. Right? And they did. Listen, I know. They actually thought, these guys actually thought that they knew what they were doing, these central bankers. They thought they could control stuff. Yeah. Hey, we can control the whole wide world by raising interest rates 1/4 point. You know what they got better at? They got better at lying. Right? They got better at giving you bad information and then allowing for their mouthpiece, the media, to give it to you like it was a fact. Right? That's why, you know what? Why do people listen here? Right? You don't listen because you don't get this anywhere else. Nobody else wants to talk about this. They all want to tell you, let the good times roll. Right? The guy doesn't, your financial planner doesn't want you to take your money out because, listen, hey, I get residuals off of that. I get to whack you 2% every year on all your money. Here's the thing. No one knows a great selling point for gold. Right? I don't call you every year and say, hey, you bought $100,000 of gold, and hey, why don't you just send me a check for a couple thousand? Right? You know where it's at, only you. You don't have to worry about a downturn. You don't have to worry about it going to zero. You don't have to worry about them coming out and revising earnings or coming out and admitting to fraud. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And it's amazing. 2018, really? That's the year we had records? Listen, most people, including myself, 2019 is going to beat that. They're not stopping. See, they know debt. Why do they buy gold? Same reason you do. We want to hedge ourselves against the debt market, against the fiat currencies. And it doesn't matter if it's a Federal Reserve note. It doesn't matter if it's a loonie. It doesn't matter if it's a euro or a yen or a renminbi. A Russian ruble. It doesn't matter. And they look around. Listen, they got all the options. Heck, they got more options than you and I. They can buy Treasury U.S. debt. They can buy German debt, French debt, Chinese debt, England debt. I mean, they can diversify the crap out of their debt. It's not what they're doing. They're like, yeah, I see that. I'll take the gold. See, it was harder to do when the United States was paying them 7 or 8% on a 10-year note, right? That's a little. Remember, that was the when I first started following news. That was always the reason you didn't want to own gold. Gold doesn't pay you interest. That's gone, right? Then they talk about, oh, well, you got to store it somewhere, right? What do you got to do? Rent out a storage locker? I know. Couple $100 safe at Costco. That's a huge expense. See, what they don't want you to know, hey, we're whacking you 2% for the money you leave with us. They don't talk about that. Right? If you can even get 2% interest, right, they're whacking you anyway. You're not getting any anyway. And remember what their core belief is. Devaluation. See, now they got themselves in trouble. They got nowhere to go. Right now they created these new tools, right? Because, well, they want to keep the Ponzi scheme going. When we get back, I'm going to help you get ready again. Got another great deal, and I'm going to tell you it's getting harder and harder to do, but I'll be back with that when we return. Want to know why you own gold? I'll give you a real world example. Prices of automobiles. Okay, sales are down. Okay, so you got demand falling, right? Supply rising. But according to Kelley Blue Book, the average transaction for a new car jumped another $1,481, or 4.2% more than a year ago. Remember, there's only 2% inflation, except in everything we need, to $37,149. In 1971, you could have bought a home, 2 cars, gone on vacation, and a few other things for $37,000. A nice home, too. Just keep that in mind, right? Remember, gold was $42, okay? Let's keep it real. I know you can go in and risk all your money if you want to. I can't stop you. Go ahead. Buy all your stocks and pretend you're a big boy investor and pretend how smart you are. And I bought a little computer software program. That's great. And listen, I'm not knocking. People can make money doing it. You can. Got to know what you're doing. My way's just easier. It's boring. You buy gold, you put it away, and you hope you never have to use it. It's just that simple. And guess what? Yeah, it fluctuates year to year. It does. Right? Last year, gold did better than stocks. Did better than debt. The year before is the other way around, and so on and so forth. But guess what? At the end of the day, it just as well, if not better. And I don't whack you. yesterday we ran those Saints. I don't have them anymore. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. It doesn't matter what the gold price is. It really doesn't. Right? So it's down $2, $3. Big deal. It was up $2, $3. Big deal. How much are you paying over spot? That's what matters. I want to buy as much gold as I possibly can, and I want to pay the least amount I possibly can on the day that I'm buying it. And then I hope, like Double says, I never have to use it. Today, we've got, and I hate this number, the 30 to 40 number. I don't know, am I supposed to split the difference? 35 $10 liberties. Okay, so this isn't the 20, this is the 10. Fractional. I love fractional. Anytime you can buy fractional, and especially if you can buy it for less, you buy it. $10 liberties today. I got 30 to 40. So there's 690. Which means if you put two of them together, 1,380. And I just told you, premiums went up another $10 yesterday. Why? Because people are buying. They're not sitting on the sideline. Listen, who's sitting on the sideline? The average guy out there, because they're like, well, the stock market's coming back again. Well, the actual smart guys are like, suckers, I'm buying gold. And the Federal Reserve is telling you exactly what you should do. Listen to what they've said. No more rate hikes. We're going to stop the balance sheet runoff. We're getting ready to add to it again. What do you think that means? And they're like, there's no recession in sight. Yeah, there is. There's recession in sight everywhere. Look at cars. By the way, the average price of a truck, and this is where the sales are, that went up 5.3%. $2,500 more than a year ago to nearly $50,000 for a truck. 50 grand. I mean, think about it. And that's, base. My first house that I bought is now worth 2 pickup trucks. That's it, right? I mean, it's gotten ridiculous, but they'll tell you there's no inflation. Trust me, it's here. $15 an hour is not going to fix that. And when you sit there and you think about what they truly left us with, it was nothing more than debt. And no, this isn't the greatest economy America's ever seen. Sorry. I'm close. More people working part-time than ever before. More people working part-time that actually want to work full-time. More people working more than one job than ever before. More people working as independent contractors than ever before. More people having record levels of debt than ever before. See, and you can extend it and pretend it for a little while. But then it starts to go the other way. And then I start looking at these central banks. And I tell you the story. When I first started, going on almost 16 years now, 16 years ago, Patriot's been around 23. When I first started working here with Eric, central banks sold 500 metric tons of gold a year because they all believed that they had fixed it. They all believed that they figured out the key to monetary policy and fiat money. Right before it all blew up in their face. Now they're trying to say they fixed it again, but this time they're not selling 500 metric tons. They're buying 600 metric tons and growing. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. U.S. $10 Liberties. These are the older ones, 1866 to 1907. The most private way for you to own gold. Because that's the other factor, right? We want you to buy it cheap. And we want you to be able to stay private, meaning you can buy it, sell it, trade it, and you don't have to give out your Social Security number. That's what it means. $690. That's why we're the best. That's why we've been here 23 years. That's why we don't have complaints, right? Our high-pressured sales tactic, when you call the 800 number, if you've never bought gold from us, I promise you, it's not like buying it anywhere else. You'll be amazed. If you've never ever bought gold at all, don't worry. Here's what's going to happen when you call us. Right? You just tell us, hey, I would like to buy the special. And we're going to say, how many would you like? That's what we're going to say. Are we going to try to talk you out of it, tell you some high price? No. Nope. That's going to be pretty much the extent of our conversation. We're going to give you a total. You tell us if you want to pick it up or if you want us to ship to you. If we ship to you, it's $35. If you pick it up here in Phoenix or up our office in Colorado, there's no charge. And it's that simple. Well, what happens after that? Then you're going to start calling me all the time and filling up my mailbox and do it? No. We won't call you ever. Promise. Right? The only customers we call are the ones that tell us to call them. Hey, will you call me when my check gets here? Hey, will you call me when you ship my coins? We'll do that. But otherwise, no, that's all there is. And the reason is simple, right? Because you know what? Number one, first of all, we value privacy, right? We're not a coin store. No one's going to be in here. We try. Doesn't always happen, but trust me, we try as hard as we can to make sure you're the only one in here conducting business. If you're picking up at one of our locations, right, we try to make sure you're the only one there so you can do your transaction privately. Plus the fact it makes us cheaper than everybody else. Right? Phone calls aren't free, right? Having people make the phone calls aren't free. We don't have any. We don't make any outbound phone calls. Really think about it. Not only do you get gold at a great price, you get all the great shows we do. Now we have a radio station that we own up in Colorado, 1360khnc.com. Right? We want to educate you as well and entertain you as well. And I know, man, a lot of times I'm not that entertaining, but, there's a little value there. At least $1 a show. Right? There's value there. And it's your orders. When you order from us, that's how we stay here. This is how we get to do what we do. Because, listen, I can tell you right now, you can buy gold anywhere. People, they try to act like it's hard. It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not hard to buy it. It's not hard to sell it. It's as easy as can be. And that's the other thing, by the way, too. Hey, listen, we don't just sell it. We buy it as well. So we are a full-service dealer. 800-951-0592, the $10 lib. What a great price. Oh, by the way, and it's on our website as well, so you don't even have to call if you don't want to. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back tomorrow.